Okay. So why don't you start out telling me your name and a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in comedy?
Slate my name.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Bob Gurnett. I've been doing comedy for about 3 years. I got into it because there were other people doing it that I thought I was funnier than, and so I was like, okay, if they can do this, I can do this. And I'd been writing like comedy, like blog posts and stuff like that for a while, so I was like, yeah, no one reads that stuff, so at least 5 to 10 drunk people will get to see me. So
Yeah, you started out doing a hockey, was it?
I used to have a comedy hockey blog
Yeah.
that got about a couple hundred unique hits a day, which is apparently pretty good, but also didn't feel that good because there was like no comments, and then you hear like you see YouTube videos with 29 million views and you're like, oh, I suck, I'm the worst. That eventually just the I was full-time student and working full-time, and then I started doing stand-up comedy, and eventually one thing had to go, and it ended up being that blog.
Yeah.
Because I was managing editor, and then I had like 2 writers, one of whom was barely literate. So anytime he sent me a piece, I would have to edit the crap out of it for like an hour and a half every night.
That would be Mike.
That would be Mike, yeah. So I kind of gave up on that whole thing.
And how many years has it been?
3 years.
3 years.
It's actually almost exactly 3 years. I think I started late October.
Oh, happy anniversary.
Yeah. I only remember because I started right after I broke up with a girl, so that's why I remember the exact month that it happened.
Mm-hmm. How much do you think you've changed as a comedian since you started?
A lot. I understand like the economy of words. Like I don't ramble. Like every word has a purpose. Like the old Chekhov's gun. It's like Chekhov's gun. It's like don't put a word in there if you're not going to use it. Don't put a gun in a scene if it's not going to be used. I've gotten much better at that. I've gotten much better at also like trusting the. I was talking about this last night. I got better at trusting the silence. Like when you deliver a punchline, sometimes you have to wait a second. And sometimes I would deliver a punchline and immediately start into the next joke and not give the audience time to digest the material or laugh, which is the whole point of it. So a lot of it's timing and just writing smarter.
So that kind of plays into my next question. Do you have set jokes that you'll go off of, or do you have them memorized, or does it like kind of just, I will obviously have them memorized, but
yes.
Does it kind of just like go off of how you're getting the feel from the audience? Like what kind of jokes do you
I will make a set list before. Open mics are different. Obviously, open mics, I will sometimes get up on open mics and have like an idea and then just rattle for 5 minutes because it's an open mic.
Yeah.
But if it's like a paid show, I'll have a set list. I'll know exactly how long every joke is. I'll know exactly what order I want to do them, and I'll have segues from one piece to the next. Because I tell kind of longer jokes. They're usually, each bit's usually 2 to 3 minutes, somewhere as long as 4 minutes, 5 minutes. So I'll segue those into other things. But if like an audience is like not feeling a certain type of material, like I'll either switch to crowd work, like I'll start talking to the audience, I'll start, kind of schmoozing them, so maybe if they like me, they'll start laughing at me more.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll just switch to, if I'm trying like a new set, I'll sometimes go to like real heavy hitter, like stuff that I know is really good. It just depends. Like in a 10-minute set, you don't have a lot of room for like improvising. It's like, oh, I have 10 minutes, so I'm just gonna do the stuff. But if you're doing 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you have more time to kind of bounce around and insert and remove material.
Okay. What are some of the biggest mistakes you think new comedians make?
They try to be shocking right out the gate. Like a lot of comedians will come in with like their racial material or rape material or misogynistic material, and they'll come right out the gate with that, and they'll be like, I'm gonna tell a poop joke, and it's like, be funny first, learn how to be funny. Like all those guys that you see, like the Anthony Jeselniks and stuff who do the offensive stuff, they can be really funny clean too. They're already funny comedians, and then they can go dark.
Yeah.
Like you can always make clean material blue. You can always make clean material dirty and more adult. You can't take a rape joke and make it clean. You can't take that and do that on a... Because there are a lot of shows that are clean shows, like where they're like, hey, this show is at the VFW hall. There will be children there. There will be old war vets there, and they don't want to hear about your penis. Like,
Yeah.
so maybe tell. Like, I have plenty of sets that are, you have to be clean.
That makes it harder for them too, because then they would have to like redo their whole set if that's what their jokes are
Absolutely.
pretty much
And well, there are
based
just
off of.
comedians who just don't get to do that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. Like, we have comedians who just don't get to do the shows that are in, clean rooms or rooms that are going to have like younger audience members and stuff like that. They just don't get to do them
Yeah.
because no one's going to book them, because it's like, yeah, that's all that guy does is that kind of material. So they try to be shocking right out the gate, and a lot of people, this is the other thing, brand new people, especially the first time at the open mic, they will come in and they will say, all my friends tell me I'm funny. I'm just going to get up there and tell a story. Like, and they don't have any punchlines worked out. Like, I do storytelling, but it's like storytelling is stringing jokes together and making it into a story with a joke, boom, boom, boom. Like, you should have, there's a thing called laughs per minute, where like you should have so many laughs per minute inside that story. And if you have to shoehorn in a joke into the story, you shouldn't have the audience sitting for 45 seconds to a minute waiting for a punchline. So a lot of comedians will, not comedians, but new open mic guys will be like, yeah, my friends think I'm funny. And they'll go tell a story that's funny to their friends that will have like a 3-minute setup for one punchline.
Yeah.
They're like, ooh.
Yeah, writing is definitely an important part of
Right,
it too.
absolutely, yeah.
What advice would you give to new comedians starting out?
Write a lot, like write every day. Like, be writing, and also don't be afraid to do the same joke over and over and over and over again. You have to grind out your jokes. You have to get on stage and tell them to figure out where you want inflections and how you want to deliver it. Also, don't get discouraged by bombing. You're gonna bomb. You're gonna bomb for the first couple years, actually. Like, it is.
How many times did you bomb?
I still bomb. I still bomb all the time. But I had a span from, because in the first 3 months, all your friends come, all your family comes, they're excited. And then after 3 months, they stop coming, and you have to make strangers laugh. You have to make people who don't know who you are or give a crap if you're funny or not. And so from 3 months to probably a year and a half in, I ate it, like every time I got on stage. And I kept doing it because I wanted to do it and I wanted to get better. And I got better. Every time I'd get better and I'd get a couple more laughs and a couple more. But you're going to suck for a long time.
Mhm.
And don't expect to, 1 year in, get your Comedy Central special. The youngest guys I know, like outside of like the weirdos, like there's outliers. There's guys like Bo Burnham and stuff who, or Pete Davidson on SNL, who's also like 21. And Bo Burnham was 18 when he got his first special. There's outliers for sure. And those like are crazy, uniquely talented guys. Most people are doing it for about 10 years before they get any recognition. Most of the guys you'll see on Conan and on late night shows and on Comedy Central, 10 years, I mean, the least I've heard somebody say that I actually know personally is 8 years. I think he's been doing it.
Yeah.
And he has a late night thing. Like,
And
it's
he's
just,
finally like, I mean, it takes a while to like make some money.
well, it takes
off doing that.
it takes a while to get good. And then once you're good, then it takes a while for people to notice you're good.
Yeah.
And then once people notice you're good, it still takes a while for anybody who can make any decisions that matter to notice you're good. So like, it's a lot of like, once you're good, then you should definitely, also don't put yourself out there before you're good. That's a mistake so many people make. They'll film themselves on YouTube and they'll throw it up there and they'll have only been doing it for 6 months. And that stuff doesn't go away. Like 5 years later, if somebody's like wants to put you on a festival and they Google your name and they pull up some set you did when you were 6 months in, they're gonna be like, no way, am I booking that guy?
Mm-hmm.
So like, don't put the cart before the horse. Just chill out. It's gonna be a while before you get booked on festivals. It's gonna be even longer before anybody even cares or recognizes who you are, and it may never happen.
Yeah.
So I think people just get too hopped up on the, I want to be famous, I want to be on
Right.
Comedy Central, instead of like, I like telling jokes and it
Mhm.
feels good to make other people laugh. Like, yeah. That's new people are dumb.
All right, we'll go ahead and end it on that.
Cool.